Shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being named for His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Natasha's Truth and Will, and citation to you, hopeful excellence, truth, and all honesty and sincerity. Spell the Yahweh, come in, listen, spirit power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. And this lesson is going into a very heavy spiritual testimony from our experience. Brothers had a unity camp from GMS, Missouri, as well as the elder Yapah came down and fellowship with us, and we did lessons. It was a very beautiful weekend. But I'm going to give you a testimony of what we saw that really took brothers' breath away. And the whole trip itself was highly spiritual. So I'm starting with this image on the screen here, and I'm going to explain what this is. This is a photo we took. Okay, but to start off with the first part of the trip, man, brothers first off was attacked heavily by Satan to even make it down there. A lot of brothers were having car troubles. The spirit prevailed. All of us brothers make it, and at the last minute we almost hit a deer and almost hit a deer, but brothers still made it. Okay, and it was beautiful that once we got there, one of the first signs that we seen, we go up the condo, because we had rented an Airbnb pretty much, and we go to the top floor. Okay, and at the top floor, the first address we see right next to our front door is 1044, and that's the spirit, because I started this lesson unintentionally at 1044, which is 144. Okay, so call out Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But it doesn't stop there. All right, we enter and we go inside, and at the microwave, whoever used it last, the number that was left there was 44 seconds. Then we look to our right and left, and all the decorations in the condo are palm trees everywhere, man. Palms. There was a whole theme throughout the condo. Okay, and to go on further, man, hey, brother saw the 1044 address. It was crazy, man. Okay, so the next spiritual thing, which we did, was we had to, get up in the morning and plan our day out. Bros had fellowship that night, had a good time, sharing a lot of visions and dreams. And then we woke up, all right, and then we planned our day out. And our first step was to go to Tonka State Park down in the Ozarks. All right, we get there, and the first stop to the entrance of our destination was to get to the spring. Look what we come across: a great millstone. Okay, a great millstone. And we move on further, and while we get to the spring. Now, once we get there, just beautiful, man. This is the water that was gushing out of that spring. Okay, you see how crystal clear and clean and blue it is. Just beautiful, man. Beautiful. And brothers just were in awe of looking at this. Like, this is ours, man. This is supposed to be ours, and this is how our water should look and taste. But Esau took all of it, man. Esau took all of this from us. So we're looking at this, and then we walk on further. Okay, and we get to the mouth of the spring, and at the mouth of the spring is where the cleanest part of the water is at. And then the brothers went ahead and one of the brothers went ahead and jumped down there, grabbed an empty bottle, and took up and drew up some water and gave it to the Akim to drink. And I mean, we're talking about the cleanest water you've ever tasted, man. Really gave you energy. You know, there was just life, just feeling it and being, you know, thirst being quenched, man. Okay. Now going on to the next part of the trip, man. We get back to the room and things like that. Brothers get settled, and we begin to, you know, we do our sit downs and everything like that. And it got to the evening, and that's where things really started to turn up through the spirit. Many brothers went ahead, passed out. A few brothers stayed up, and you know, brothers' spirits were just really, really heavy. So it got to the point of 4:14 in the morning, and one of the brothers said, "Hey, I'm going out on the balcony before we go to bed. I got to see this view, because the view was beautiful. You can see the Lake of the Ozarks overlooking everything." And we make it down there, man, and we're checking it out. As soon as we go outside on the balcony is a dove, man. At 4:14 in the morning, it's pitch black outside, and there's a dove. Okay, a dove on the balcony, man. Of all birds. Now, doves are a symbol of peace. All right, and I want to get a precept out that goes into it. All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 8, verse 11. It says, "Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark." Right? Because the ark was the place of safety, because the whole earth had been flooded. And right now, spiritually, we're living in a time period where the whole earth is wickedness. You know, we have that ark as our rest and our safety. Okay, it says, "For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her into him into the ark, and yet stayed another 7 days. And again he sent forth the dove out of the ark, and the dove came into him in the evening. And lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf, pluck it off." So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. Okay, so then he knew that once the dove returned unto him, it was going to be safety. And when did the dove come back? In the evening. And that's when we seen the dove, man, in the evening. So we did a lesson, a sit down previously earlier in that day, going into an expected end within the scriptures, on how we have the promises of rewarding in the kingdom and have everlasting peace. And what are the chances that in the evening this dove appeared unto us, man? And it wasn't in a flock like doves normally are in. It was by itself. We thought it was injured, and it wasn't. It flew away, man. After that, you know, brothers were very emotional after seeing that, you know, because that was a heavy spiritual sign. But there's more, man. There's more. We began to kind of look up to the heavens as we were talking about what we just experienced. And we saw chariots after chariots after chariots after chariots after chariots, man. Imagine these stars you see on this image here, which I got from Google. Imagine seeing these stars just moving all throughout the sky, man. I mean, you must have seen at least 20 chariots, man. Maybe more. They kept going across all over the sky in different directions. Crazy, man. So at that point, brothers is on fire. They're turning up. And I set up a prayer. And I said, you know, this is our last night here. Tawada Yapah Shem Yahushai for blessing us with these spiritual signs and these chariots. If you could, Baba Kasha, give the brothers in Akim a grand finale. A grand finale, man, of seeing something to really encourage their spirits. And a few moments went by, and the next thing we see, man, that really it I'm still shocked at what I was looking at, man. Brothers were really in tears behind it. I'm gonna flip to this other image I had to download and try to give you a good visual of what I was seeing. Now, if you look on my screen here, I'm gonna open my cursor. Okay, if you can see my cursor circling this star right here. All right, this is as big as the star we were looking at, and it was at a similar horizon of what you're seeing right now. You kind of see the lake at the bottom, and you see the star. Now, this star that I'm circling, imagine this all of a sudden appeared when nothing was there. Now, there wasn't this many stars in the sky. We can probably count on our hands how many stars we were seeing in the sky. It wasn't nearly as much in this photo. But there's this one particular bright star that just we watched form out of nowhere and just appeared over the horizon just like this, man. And it was this size as well. And so right now we said, bro, is that a chariot? And everyone said, yeah, man, that's got to be a chariot. It just came out of nowhere. Okay? And it was getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And then we watched this star. It moves. It just starts going up, man. It raises up straight through the sky. We're watching it move slowly. Okay? And it goes all the way towards the top of the sky, gets close to the clouds, and takes off, man. Call all Yapah Shem Yahweh Shai, man. That was one of the craziest chariot sightings I've ever seen in my life, man. It raised up slowly. We watched it and took off. It was huge, huge. And then the Lord said to the Spirit, man, I'm not done yet. And after seeing that, man, I'm already hitting the floor like, wow, what am I looking at, man? But as it's crying, celebrating, giving all praises to Yapah Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm telling you, brothers, man, we watched it rise up, man. And at this point, no brother wanted to pull out their phone because we didn't want to disrespect the angels, man. Because as I was speaking and telling the Akim that the chariots, the angels want to reveal themselves to us. They want to show us the full-fledged vehicle to see all the details. But it's not that time. It's not time yet. They want to be there and be right there next to us and reveal and manifest themselves. But there has to be a time for it. So what they can do, though, is encourage brothers of the Spirit and do flybys, man. And that's what we see. That's why you all see these stars moving like that. These chariots moving like that. You might not see it up close yet, but we're going to see it very soon, man. Okay? And as I said that, more chariots popped up. And we looked to the right. And horizon to the right, man. And this image here is similar to how it was a sighting. But just imagine none of these stars here. Just very few clouds up top. A couple stars here and there. Alright, but nothing there. Look at my cursor to the bottom of the screen. We look to the horizon to our right. Okay? Which I believe that was the east. It was the east. We look to the east, and out of nowhere, again, it just manifests into the sky. This is what we saw. This appears, man. Now, crescents almost never appear at the bottom of the moon. But this was in the distance, man. Okay, so imagine this distance where we see the full size of a moon. And a crescent smile appears in the sky. Out of nowhere, just pops up. Poof. Alright, and then we look to the left of it. That same bright star that moved through the sky appears again. And another one to the right of it appears. Boom, boom. And this thing is just glowing and sitting there. And the whole thing begins to shift and rise up in the sky and pause, man. It stops. We're sitting here and brothers are just shook, man. I'm wondering if we're still awake, if what we're looking at is real. But just this bright light, this crescent sitting there. Alright, and then this is what happens next. I have to try to screen right on here to show you a visual of what I was seeing. Then the moon does something crazy. I'm calling it the moon, but to the Spirit it was a chariot. all of a sudden we see a solid black line appear here, like this. Okay? And then it appeared here, like this. Okay? And like a sparkler from a 4th of July is dying out, both sides simultaneously begin to disappear. Now let me see if I can enlarge this. Both sides begin to disappear and fade simultaneously from both sides, man. And the whole thing closes up, and the entire thing disappears, man. And it's just dark. Then the chariot to the left faded away, and the chariot to the right faded away, and brothers lost it, man. At that moment, brothers lost it. We're giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai on what we just seen. Just incredible, man. Incredible. We couldn't believe what we were looking at, man. The whole thing, poof, disappeared. And after praising and rejoicing, other Akim woke up and heard, the celebrating. And they come outside. And just after a couple minutes after coming outside, it pops back up again, man. Call all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, man. It re-manifests again. Again for their brothers. We were explaining them what they're seeing, and then they got to witness it, man. They got to witness the same thing. Chariots come back, pop back up. Then the Lord wasn't done, man. Still wasn't done. Man, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai still wasn't done because he let them see the same thing. One line manifests here, one line manifested here. I said, brothers, it's happening again. And all of a sudden, from both sides, it turns off, bro. It turns off, and it just shrinks and closes. If you imagine me pinching from this side, that side, I'm just trying to draw it out, the best I can on the screen to show you visually what we're seeing, and poof, it's gone, man. It went away completely and rose up in the sky, and that was it. It was gone, man. It was gone, man. Explain that, man. How do you explain that shit? And I looked up. Now there is something called a chest star moon. All right, which there is crescents. Sometimes the moon can be at the bottom, but you can't explain the motherfucker closing up like that, the light shutting off and coming back on, man. And then the Lord wasn't done yet, because the brother called it out. As this was disappearing, there was a dark shadow figure of a huge cloud in the shape of a saucer, man. And I'm gonna draw it right here. I can't draw the full size of it on this particular screen because it was that big. It was just like this, man. Just like this, man, but huge. But it was a dark cloud behind it, in the form and the shape of a giant ship. And it shifts over directly to where the moon was at, and then starts sliding up a little bit and fades away and disappears, man. I mean, words just can't explain the emotions brothers was feeling after seeing something like that, man. All I can say is just magnificent. The Lord is real. The chariots are real, man. Just incredible. And mind you, all of this started at 4:14 in the morning. We see the turtle dove. It flies off. And we go in to see all these chariots and see this magnificent sight. While in the condo with the address right next door of 1044, man. Whew. Man, hey. This is real. What we're involved in is very, very real, man. This is the book of Mark 16, verse 17. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. We're going to see a lot of signs, man. Okay? A lot of signs. This is the book of Matthew 13 and 17. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. We're living in a time where everything was prophesied about to happen in the future. We're living in a time to where we are in that future, and we are seeing everything they said that they wanted to see. What we witnessed that night, there's prophets of old that have never seen anything like that. It's crazy, man. Just wild, man. I'm still lost for words. Still shook behind it. Luke 21 and 28. And when these things begin to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Look up, man. Look up, Akim. Take the time to look up. The spirit brothers gotta have it. When they walk out their homes, the first thing they do is they look up to the sky, man. We give all credit and praise to Yapah Shem Yahushai. We look up because we're close to being out of there, man. I felt through the spirit. I thought for a second that chariot was about to continue to move closer to us, and then just beam us up right there, man. And spiritually, you got to be ready for that. But those chariots, the amount that we saw, man, and it was meant for brothers to see that, man. All those signs. This is the book of Psalms 34 and 7. The angel of Yahweh encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. The angels are there, always. That's our ticket out of here. And they were showing us that, hey, look, we got your back, and we are here. We are holding post too. They're in camp. They're at camp, just like we got to go to camp to prophesy. The angels are at camp around our homes and around the Akim, man. Especially when they come together in unity, man. This is the book of John 7:38. He that believeth on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Okay, and that's prophesying, speaking this word. Living water, man. The Lord bless us to drink pure water that you're supposed to be drinking. Out of a brook, man. Out of a aquifer. Groundwater. A spring water came up, man. We got the taste of that real water, man. This is Psalms 91:11. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. They keep us on track because we were talking about all the afflictions, all the sufferings brothers have been going through prior to that trip. And the angels manifested themselves heavily. And they're showing, hey, they got our backs, man. They made sure we made it there safely and back home safely, man. And then revealed themselves. Call all Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's the book of Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars. And upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. We definitely saw the signs in the moon and the stars that night. That night, man. We saw it. And for that moon to be in that crescent, to be at the bottom like that was definitely out of ordinary, man. I went into the app on the moon, the phases, and the crescent was supposed to be on the left-hand side of it, and it was a new moon as well. We shouldn't be able to see anything, any crescent at all that night. But we did. So that was a chariot, man. A massive chariot the size of a moon that we were looking at. Can you believe that, man? A massive chariot the size of a moon in the sky manifested and disappeared, man. Wow, man. That's signs in the sun and stars, man. It says, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves warning. And we got distress of nations right now. We at the brink of a nuclear war. They talking about sending a nuke to Ukraine, man. China is talking about invading Taiwan. There's all types of distress of nations going on. We see the scene in the waves warring during hurricane. You had sharks swimming in the streets of Florida. Hey, we at the end, brothers, man. We don't got much time left to deal with this bullshit any longer, man. Brothers, just have faith, man. We're seeing things that our elders, the ancients of old, desire to see. And Lord's will, through the Spirit, we be some of those men. And we're going to get delivered, man. Just keep your heads up. So Lord's will, this testimony is powerful. I hope it brings tears to brothers, tears of joy like it did for us. Hey, share this testimony, man. If you can, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha, Baba Kasha needs to get out there, to the whole body. Remember where it started at, man. It started right here. Let's show you right here who the Lord's dealing with. Because we experienced all those things, and at the brink of before experiencing it, we seen 1044 as an address, and we get to the first destination, and we see the great millstone right there, man. And then we went into drinking pure living water. Look at this, man. Hey, bro, the Lord's got something big in store for this ministry, man. We on the right track, the right path, brothers. You gotta believe in that. Don't fall out, man. You gotta know what you're a part of, man. Look at this, man. And then we see this sign. Then I'm gonna close out. Give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us truth and will well. And salutations to you, hopefully pushing this truth in all honesty and sincerity. Shalom.